What are the real truths about living in Phoenix, Arizona? I'm glad you asked. We're gonna cover that right now. Welcome back and thank you for joining my YouTube channel called Everything Phoenix, where we discuss just that, everything Phoenix, and we are passionate about helping people relocate to Phoenix, move up, move down, invest in Phoenix real estate, or maybe just buy that second home in Phoenix, Arizona. So what are the real truths about living in Phoenix, Arizona? Guys, if you search the internet, you will find all kinds of pros and positive things about Phoenix, as well as probably any other city. But sometimes people don't want to let you know about some of the little intricacies that maybe aren't the best things about that city, guys, because let's face it, every city has negative or not so great things about it. Now, I'm a big believer in Phoenix, Arizona, so this is not a video where we're hating on Phoenix, we're saying it's terrible, but there are some negative things that go with all the positives, so we're going to discuss those today. Now, first, ring that notification bell if you don't mind, smash the like button, and you'll be notified every time we put out a new video, because we're putting out a new video twice a week, once on Tuesday and Thursdays, so you're notified of all the new things happening here in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay guys, the real truths. Let's go over those dirty little secrets that Phoenix has. Something like that. Okay, the real truths, here we go. We're gonna discuss 8 things that are kind of mainstream and some off the wall things that are the real truths about living here in Phoenix, Arizona. Number 8, school system. Now guys, this is no secret. If you go and do a Google search, you'll find that the school system in Arizona, in terms of the public school system, is not the greatest. In fact, it's ranked in the bottom 10 most of the time across the country for states. However, that is a generalization, and I am so tired of people bagging on Arizona public school education system, guys. Are there some bad ones? Of course there are. Are there some good public schools? Absolutely. I have 3 kids and they're all in elementary school. And guys, the school they go to, it's a public school and it is a phenomenal school. The average tenure of the teachers there is like 18 years plus. We couldn't be more happier being at the school we are at, and it is a public school in the state of Arizona. And it's just fine. Not just fine, it's great. It excels. And there are a lot of good things about the school that my kids are in. So guys, if you want to be in a good school, you will find it here in Arizona in terms of a public school. And so do your research and let us know, and we'll help you find a home in the area of town you want to be in for the school you want your kids to go to. Now, there also are charter schools and traditional schools and private schools. So those are obviously phenomenal. Now, obviously you're going to pay tuition to go there, but they are very, very good schools. So I'm just tired of the negative generalization and stereotype of the schools in Arizona, guys, because there are some really, really good public schools at all different levels of education. So that's my rant on that. And let's go to number 7, off the wall, basements, or maybe lack thereof. Guys, in Arizona, I'm not sure if you're aware, but most of the homes, the vast majority of the homes, do not have basements. Kind of odd when you come from the East Coast, maybe the Southeast or the Midwest, because almost every home has a basement. Growing up, the homes I lived in, they all had basements. And why are basements good? For a lot of things. Well, A, they're cooler right in the summertime, but storage, and did I mention storage? Phenomenal for that, right? Well, we don't have those in Arizona, generally speaking. Now, there are some subdivisions and some homes in different parts of the different cities in the Phoenix metro area that actually do have basements. So if you want a basement home, you actually can find one, but they are a little rare. So that being said, if you want one, give us a call. We will help you find a basement home. But like I said, they're rare. So if you don't have a 2-story home, or even if you do have a 2-story home, storage is at a premium. So just be aware of that. Now, why is the question? I'm glad you asked. Why they don't have basements in Arizona is because a couple different reasons. Number one, I'm told the water table is actually pretty high in most areas of the valley. So digging down there can be a little problematic, but most common is that it's a hard dig. A lot of the soil is decomposed granite. It's not the topsoil you know of in the Midwest and the farm areas across the country and things of that nature. So it's a very hard dig. It's hard. It's very expensive to dig. And so most people and builders just don't want to upfront that cost, okay? Number 6, guys, moving on to number 6, we have a issue with windshields. What? Yeah. Again, off the wall thing, guys, but Arizona actually leads the country in windshield replacements for your vehicle. That is right. So if you are living in Arizona, make sure Pro tip here, make sure that your insurance that you have for your car includes free windshield replacements. I've been living down here for, I don't know, let's see, it's about 17 years, and I've had my windshield replaced countless times. Now, why is that? Not exactly sure, but the educated guess would be because we don't have snow, we don't have plows, we don't have a lot of rain and stuff that moves rocks and pebbles off the roads. It's pretty dry, and so those pebbles that are on the roads, little tiny rocks, they get eaten up by those tires and spit out, and boom, right into your windshield. It stinks, right? The good news is we have a lot of mobile windshield replacement companies that will come out and just do it while you're at work or you're home, no problem there. But have that rider, that insurance coverage on your auto insurance. Pro tip, all right? Don't forget that one, all right? Okay, moving on to number 5. Number 5 are the Arizona gun laws. Yeah, the gun laws. Now, Arizona is known as the Wild Wild West, and this could be a little bit of a divisive topic, right? But we're not going to get involved with that. We're just going to talk about what it is. In Arizona, gun laws are very lax, okay? I mean, you can have a gun by the time you are 18 years old, okay? And you do not need a permit for it. Now, if you're between the years of 18 and 20, it has to be an open carry firearm. So you have to have it on the side of your waist, or if it's in a vehicle, you are allowed to do that, but it has to be visible from the outside if someone's looking through the window in your car. Now, if you're 21 or older, you still don't need a permit required to file with the state of Arizona to carry a firearm. And you can, at that point, carry it concealed or open, your choice. So it's a very lax gun law in Arizona. Now, a lot of people think that's the reason why there's not a lot of mass shootings and things of that nature in the state, because a lot of people do carry and they defend themselves. And that's why it's kind of known as the Wild Wild West. So whether your stance is for it or against it, that's not the point of this video or topic, but that is the law. So if that's something you enjoy, the right to bear arms and carry it around in your car, on your waist, on your hip, whatever it may be, you can do that in Arizona. No problem at all. Okay, now moving on to number 4, and that would be poor air quality. Yeah, something that's not talked about a lot, but Arizona, well, as a state, is overall somewhat poor quality, but Phoenix, right, does have poor air quality overall. It sits down in a valley, which means we have mountains that almost surround the entire valley in 360 degrees. The air doesn't move a lot out of there. It sits down in the valley, causing not so great air quality sometimes. In fact, on average, Phoenix will actually experience about 23 to 24 poor air quality days a year, where, you know, if you have a condition with your lungs or anything of that nature, you may want to stay inside. Okay, that does happen, and typically it happens in the days of in the summer, right? More summer days where the heat plays a huge role with that. So again, if you have some issues with breathing and things of that nature, Arizona may not be the best place for you, and so definitely do research on that. Arizona actually was ranked as the 7th. They made the top 10 for the poorest air quality for major cities across the country, so keep that in mind. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean when you go outside you're going to breathe in a bunch of pollution, but the 2 main things that cause the ranking to be good or bad are, number 1, ozone, which is kind of smog. It's like smog, basically a fancy word for smog, and 2, particle pollution, okay? So that being said, just something to be worried about or concerned about if you have maybe an underlying condition. If you don't, maybe it's still not the best place compared to maybe the fresh air of, I don't know, Montana or something of that nature. But outside of that, you don't really notice it. You just go about your day. Okay, moving on to number 3, guys. It is the heat. No shocker there. This is not an off-the-wall aspect or truth about living in Phoenix. This is very common. Everyone knows it's hot. It's the desert, and most people are okay with that. Now, obviously, some people don't like it. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan. I'm from Nebraska originally, where we didn't have this kind of heat, but in the summertime, it get really hot sometimes and humid. So what's worse, wet heat or dry heat? I'll take dry heat all day long, to be honest with you. Picture an oven. Yeah, it's dry heat and there's not a lot of wind, but you're just kind of cooking. That's what it can be like when it's 110 or 114 degrees outside in the summertime, in those, you know, months of primarily July and August. Okay, but outside of that, the weather is phenomenal. But again, we're talking about the real truth. The real truth is it's hot. You can't escape it. It is what it is. Over time, your blood does thin out and you do kind of adapt to it. But if you're from Alaska or Minnesota or some place like that, Sorry guys, had to get that O in there for the Minnesota people. But your DNA, you might be not so ready for this when it comes to natural adaptation for the heat, okay? If you're from maybe Tucson or New Mexico or maybe Southern California even, I don't know, maybe Mexico, maybe internationally around the equator, you come up to Arizona, you're gonna be fine, right? Because you're kind of more used to it, your body's adapted already. So just something to be aware of, you gotta stay hydrated, okay? Very important. That being said, what's the best way to get water? Well, a lot of people in Arizona will carry a hydro flask, a Yeti, a Wild Gear cup, something like that nature to bring water and carry water with you at all times throughout the day and keep drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. It's very important because by the time you're dehydrated, it's almost too late and some bad things could happen before you can get obviously hydrated and back to normal, okay? Your equilibrium can get off and you get dizzy and it's just not a good thing. So make sure you stay hydrated. That's what I do. Always carry on a bottle of water. Now, if you're at your home, what's the best way to constantly get good water into your house to be able to drink? Well, honestly, people can overcomplicate this. They can get these big elaborate RO systems, reverse osmosis, and have tap water even potentially be filtered drinking water throughout the entire house. You can buy these big fancy water systems, which are fantastic if you have the money. But if not, honestly, the filter at your fridge will filter the water, make it just nice, great for drinking, and that's what we do in my house, and it's awesome. And then obviously your refrigerator lets you know when it needs to be changed. You change out your filter, and away you go. Drinking water. In fact, we have a company that actually we can tell you about, that actually will automatically deliver these water filters to you ever so often as you need them without you even having to press a button. They just automatically show up at your door in the mail as you need them. So something to keep an eye out. Let us know if you want that information about that company. It's awesome and convenient. And number two are the two actually propositions, pieces of legislature that state of Arizona passed, the voters passed in November of 2020. And that is Proposition 207 and Proposition 208. Now, why are these little ugly truths? Well, because you have to know about these things because they passed and it's new for the state of Arizona. Proposition 207 is for the passing of recreational marijuana use and keeping that legal or making that legal. It never was legal before, and it is now as of November 2020. So now you can obviously go and just go into a dispensary. You've seen all these dispensaries pop up now across all the different areas of Phoenix. Some of them are very nicely done. So you wouldn't even know if it didn't say dispensary, you would think it's just a regular like Chick-fil-A or Jimmy John's or something. I don't know. But you walk in there and you can get whatever you want, and it's recreational and it's legal. And if you're 21 or older, and you buy it, and away you go. And that's what it is now as of the passing of Proposition 207. Now, with that, all that recreational marijuana use is taxed at 16% for everything you buy. So, obviously, that's going to be a big revenue driver for the state of Arizona. So 16% of all sales go to the state, and that will go towards additional budgetary items. I don't really know what it's supposed to go for. They haven't really dictated it, but Proposition 208 also passed, and this additional revenue is supposed to go towards the educational system for the state of Arizona. As we know, most good things don't always end up being as good as they should be because sometimes that tax-funded dollars don't make it to the places they're supposed to make because of bureaucracy, right? So that's a shame if that happens. But Proposition 208 actually is an additional state income tax on high income earners. So if you are a single person making $250,000 or more, or you're a married couple filing jointly at $500,000 a year or more, you now will pay an additional 3.5% on the already 4.5% state tax rate for a total of 8% when you file your taxes moving forward 2021 and further. Now, remember, that's also a graduated bracket of tax percentages that you're paying, right? So you're not paying the 4.5% on the whole, $250,000 if you're a single person. You're paying a lower rate for a certain amount, and then it graduates up, steps up to the 4.5%. But now that you're 4.5%, you're actually going to go to 8% or 3.5% on the money you make above $250,000 as an individual earner. So hopefully that makes sense. That money is supposed to go to education. A study came out saying that only about 55 cents of every dollar will actually go to education, even though it's marketed like that. And the other 45 cents will go to who knows what, probably bureaucratic, who knows what, right? But it won't go to probably where it should be going, which are the teachers. They're the ones who need it the most. So that's unfortunate, but is what it is. Now, that is actually being contested now by the Arizona state legislature. They have filed suit stating that the passing of Proposition 208 is actually a violation of the Arizona state constitution, because that they are claiming that only the state legislature, as per the constitution, can actually vote by majority vote to increase state taxes, and that citizens of the state cannot do that. So that's still in flux. We'll see if it eventually sticks. Right now it looks like it probably will, but that's Proposition 208. Okay guys, and now moving on to the last one, the number one ugly truth or real truth about Phoenix, Arizona is brown. Yeah. Now, there is a lot of green in Arizona, but it's not green like you and I know about when you're talking the Midwest and different parts of the country, right? There is a severe lack of greenery. It's the desert. When you're flying into Sky Harbor Airport, you can see it. You see the whole landscape as you're flying in out of the airplane window, and it's brown. It's the desert. So if you're into greenery, this is not going to be the best place for you. Now, what's interesting is I saw a sign from an environmentalist actually just a little while ago actually, and he was a big proponent of the West landscape and the beauty of the West. And what he said, I'm going to butcher his quote, but basically what he said was that people have to stop associating beautiful or beauty with greenery. And that the West, although it's not as green as other parts of the country, Midwest, East Coast, etc., it is still beautiful. And just because it's not green with luscious green grass, let's say, does not mean it's still not beautiful when it comes to just landscaping and geology and things of that nature. So I thought that was quite fascinating, because we all grow up, the vast majority of the population of the United States grow up in other parts of the country where we associate beauty with green evergreen trees and luscious grass, things of that nature. But the reality is, when you go to state parks in Utah and Arizona and places in the West, there's not as much greenery, but it's still beautiful. It's just a different kind of beauty. So that being said, I think we need to keep that in perspective. However, if you can't get over that and you really only associate beauty with greenery, Arizona is just not going to be the best place for you, unfortunately. In fact, only seasons that we have really in Arizona is with plant life change. You don't have the fall leaves. You don't have the leaves turning from green to orange and brown and yellow and falling to the ground. Don't have that in Arizona. But what we do have is the Bermuda grass actually going bad, summer grass going bad in September, October, and we got to actually plant winter grass to be able to survive in the winter, because Bermuda dies naturally and goes dormant in September, October. And if you don't actually plant winter grass, which is a lot of times rye, a rye seed, then you're just gonna have a brown lawn from September all the way through May, when the Bermuda grass starts to grow again naturally, because it starts getting warmer again. So we don't do that. We choose to actually scalp the lawn down, plant some nice ryegrass, otherwise known as winter grass, and it is a beautiful lawn in Arizona for those 7 months or so in the winter time, and it survives perfectly. It's great. Okay guys, we just discussed the top 8 real truths about living in Phoenix, Arizona. Some of the things were mainstream, some were off the wall, but either way, they're good things to discuss, good things that you need to know about if you're gonna move here or buy a second home here, guys. So again, please give us a call, day or night, it doesn't matter. We will get back to you immediately or answer the phone right away if it's not like 2 in the morning at 888-KCREG-11. That's 888-527-3411. Call us anytime. You can leave a comment below and we'll get back to you, or email at info@kellycookhomes.com. Thanks guys, as always, for watching our YouTube channel, Everything Phoenix, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks guys. Oh, and don't forget, call me.